sector. And once again, I would like to invite Neha ma'am on stage back again because she's the moderator of panel session 3. And we have our speakers with us, our panelists, Mr. Adil Shetty, the Chief Executive Officer at bankbazaar.com. Adil Shetty serves as the CEO of bankbazaar.com, also the co-founder of the company. He has set for himself an incisive vision that of making bankbazaar.com the go-to brand for the investors and loan aspirants, which is shifting the counters of how loans, cards, and insurance products are consumed. So can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Adil Shetty, the CEO of bankbazaar.com. Then our next speaker, we have Ms. Radhika Binani. She's the Chief Product Officer at paisabazaar.com. She comes with a rich experience of over 13 years in the financial services and was former Director of Digital Marketing for both policybazaar.com and paisabazaar.com. Everyone, please give her a big hand. Our next speaker is Mr. Sameer Garg, the Vice President, New Economy Group, Axis Bank. E-commerce, banking and service industry professional with entrepreneurial mindset, having 17 years of extensive hands-on experience and combined with wide knowledge and expertise in managing key accounts, business development, strategic alliances, payment solutions, corporate sales, retail distribution. So he has a very diverse experience across the industry. Everyone, please give him a big hand. Mr. Sameer Garg. Then we have on our panel Mr. Rishikesh Utpat, the VP of Digital Channels, Barclays. Mr. Rishikesh comes with over 16 years of banking and financial service experience with strong hold on retail and investment domains. He currently works out of Pune for a British transatlantic banking and financial services company headquartered in London. Mr. Rishikesh is responsible for running the digital channels for South Africa business. In addition to this, he's an active startup enthusiast. Overall, an ML technologist and with a good hold on banking domain. So everyone, please give a huge round of applause for our panelists here. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you for the introduction, and we have some really eminent people in the panel here. Welcome, all of you. What we're going to be talking about is financial space and how digitization is changing the financial space. So even before we get into some intense discussions, debates, and I'm hoping that we'll have a lot of debates, a question to all of you here. How do you see the current ecosystem changing from where you are, from your perspectives, your products? In the past quarter, we see a humongous amount of change. In the past 1 year also, there's been a behavioral shift in the way people look at digital and finance. So starting from Adil, how do you think the current ecosystem is changing for what you do as a service that you provide?
Right. So I think demonetization has actually been very positive for the entire digital finance ecosystem. So at BankBazaar, post demonetization, we saw a spike in the number of people coming in to about 12 million visitors a month. The future as we see it, right, is going to have the customer on their mobile phone accessing a financial product which might be a banking product, an insurance product, a mutual fund, and in the comfort of their home, without submitting a single piece of paper, without having to negotiate or bargain, without having to meet anyone, in very simple format, right? That product will be delivered to them in 5 minutes. And that's going to be the future pattern of consumption. Now, the easier we make this for people, the more people are going to be able to use it. And that's the future, right? We envision for the financial services market.
So I've been now working for 15 years. So the first few years I spent in FMCG. So for the first time in my life, I'm feeling I'm at the right place at the right time. So being at FinTech, I think there's a lot of action everywhere. So jokes apart, I think there's a whole lot of transformation which is happening across, right from what product to give. So there are people who are working on, if somebody's buying a mobile phone, an Apple 7 phone on Flipkart, how can I give him a loan? to people who are SME receivables, how can I give him a loan? So from products to the regulator also. So every month there is a movement in terms of acceptance of, okay, we can do this digitally, how can we move many of the processes digitally. So there's a lot of action in every piece of the puzzle which enables us to take, like Adil said, within 5 minutes getting a person accessing him. If you know, is something, when you think about it, you feel that, oh, I really don't know anything about it, what am I doing with my life? So I think that's where there's a lot of action across the table, and it's a very exciting time for digital and financial services.
I think I kind of agree with everyone. There's a lot of acceleration that has happened over the years. If you look at the one significant area is since fintech started competing with banks, the banks got that wake up alarm and okay, I need to run faster now, right? So obviously there are a lot of things happened. People collaborated with fintechs, people competed with fintechs, but then good part of that was a wake up call for banks because we traditionally being very slow. We're not used to running that fast and delivering products to customer that fast. So that has changed, and obviously India specific market, government is boosting it a lot. Government, the NPCI, whole creating the payment ecosystem has changed the whole payment industry dramatically, and it's very good for future. The one more comment I want to make is as couple of sessions, even Neha also said, the web is dying, the desktop is dying. So if you look at it, it started with e-commerce where the websites were there, then it started with m-commerce, and slowly it's moving towards your chat commerce per se. I think that's the future direction it's all going to.
So apart from what all has been covered, I personally feel that since the adoption of internet and the e-commerce businesses has increased drastically multifold in the last couple of months, the organizations or in banks per se have also been looking into their internal processes and to bring in faster efficiencies and to bring in the better controls with the use of the technology. So as what my colleague Rishikesh mentioned, that the banks have been traditionally known to be slow movers and in terms of adopting any change, we see a lot of agility amongst the bank in terms of adoption of technology of tech.
Right. So we see a lot of adoption by banks, and we have Adil who says that, we want to go paperless. 5 minutes is what it should take to deliver the product. Adil, is that possible?
It's definitely possible, right? And I think, look at the various players in the ecosystem. I think Samir, Rishikesh will speak about the banks. Every bank is thinking about the fact that to set up a branch in a town, to service it with people, to audit those people, to train them, is very expensive. But if you can make your product with the government support, right? So there's a recent RBI amendment on eKYC. The government allows for e-sign. Today, there are products wherein you can open a savings account in 10 seconds. It's available on the phone today. You demoed a product like that. So it's possible. I think what we're going through is the process of educating the consumer. So people say for the last 30 years I've done it like that. I used to submit 5 documents, my pay slips, my bank statements. Oh, can it really be done electronically? Is it secure? I think it's up to us to educate the consumer that that future is here. And the minute we achieve this, right, I think we truly take a giant leap forward towards the democratization of finance. Because when you make it available on the mobile, any person in India can access those products.
Right, so that's an interesting thing because in one of the researches that we did, we made a product which was extremely simple. It was like the Uber of finance. And we took it to people and people said, this is so simple, it doesn't look like a bank, I don't trust it. So is that something that you at banks hear that I want to leave it complex and complicated. The day I uncomplicate, my users are not going to relate to it.
So the user experience of late has been of great importance to any business, and especially when we're talking about banks. So the adoption of the bank customers in going digital and choosing the channels such as mobile as well as online banking or internet banking has been very fast. So as in banks, we've given huge focus in terms of developing a user interface so that it is less complicated. And traditionally, what an impression banks give in terms of being in complicated, complex, large, giant, difficult to reach, shouldn't be there. And what Adil is working in terms of working with all the banks and ecosystem players to provide a further sophisticated, convenient platform creating a user interface so that it's in the reach of each and every countryman.
And Radhika, to you, what challenges do you see? You know, I'm sure all of this is conceptually possible. That's the utopian world. We all want to reach there. But do you see these hurdles and challenges, infrastructure, technical infrastructure challenges? People are still not on smartphones or not, you know, Adil mentioned they're not aware, they're not educated. But besides that, what are the challenges? I'm sure there are many.
So I'm an optimist. So I think the challenge is, one of the first thing is to have customized products for the consumers. That sounds cliched, but what I really mean is, suppose currently what's happening is we can see only 20% of the people who are applying for a loan get approved for a loan. That's the status of the country's overall approval rates. The approval rates are low. That's because the bank wants to provide loans to, no offense to any of my bank panelists, I've been in a bank much before for long. It's just that they're just skimming the market, looking at which is the most risk-free segment, and we are able to provide the loan. So for everybody else to get a loan, we need to have products which are customized to them. And one of the biggest challenges for the banks is, how do I get data about these customers? So whether it is the mobile data usage, the recharge usage, everything is technically possible. But the partnership in terms of saying telecom willing to provide the data in partnership with the bank to be able to process that and be able to take the instant decision and provide the loan. I think that's one area of, not a challenge, but still some work, a lot of work that needs to be done. But now with the payments bank, that partnership between a payment bank and another bank, so I think that should sort of take care of some part of that. So there's one challenge, that's one challenge area. The second is, why we are aggregators, we have access, we can start going to the market and say, okay, here's where you can compare all loans, or you can buy mutual funds within 5 minutes. But at the end of the day, the payment processes which are integrated into this, even for loans, how does the bank go back and collect those payments? So friction-free payments, while there's a lot of work which has happened in the last 6 months, but I think all of that needs to settle down and to make it very easy for customers to access all of those. Even now I get to what's Beam, UPI, all of it is just falling into place for me. But I'm sure for a consumer, it's all the more seeing that all of it is available, how does it all fall together? So what's in it for me? I think that's the second area that needs to fall into place. And third, regulatorily, of course, there's a lot of movement, but also in terms of clarification. For example, e-contracts are allowed by Government of India. It's allowed by the Ministry of Finance, but for RBI to sort of go ahead and say, okay, it's allowed also in account opening. I think just that clarity and all of us being on the same page, I think that's the third area which needs some more work.
Adil, what do you have to say? What are the challenges that you face in reaching the last leg?
So I think, for me the world is very collaborative. So I think this is the banks and fintechs coming together. The bank has a great product. The fintech has both consumer access and we have platform-based technology. Is how to deliver this product without a shred of paper. So I think we need to make legal in the bank comfortable, we need to make risk in the bank comfortable, we need to make technology in the bank comfortable, and we need to take this to the consumer. So I think working together with the banks to help them, understand this new audience and also help the new audience to be educated on how to use these features, I think is a journey that we're now going through. But the world, as I see it, is working very collaboratively between the bank and fintech, and it's not a zero-sum game. Both parties will benefit.
Rishikesh and Samir, do you? Sure.
So, reaching out to last leg, right? The question is there a problem? Okay, if a person sitting in the farm under the tree can access the Facebook account, can check videos on WhatsApp, is the access to financial product an issue? I think not. We can reach. It's just that making him use it is the challenge. Okay, and that's where banks and fintech needs to invest. One is so if you look at the reach for the product, the infrastructure, the government support, all that in India we have. The digital technology, that also exists. Now the question is, the user experience catered to specific class of the rural area. That's one. Second thing is, the banking industry traditionally, and I think it's going to be in the future also, it's a trust-based. If I trust you, then I'll start even transacting 1 rupee. I'll start doing that once I have the trust established. And doing it through the digital channel is going to be the greatest challenge for people like Neha and her team, because the user experience, creating that user experience. The third thing is somebody doing, maybe for interim period, somebody educating people, somebody like, there's a concept called Janagram or something, where a person goes and educate each village on that. I think that's very important because that's when people are going to come on the system. With the Janadhan Yojana and all, everybody has started opening account. So now there is a data available for taking the credit decisions and all. So eventually all the products will be accessible. It's just that bringing them on the system is more about the user experience issue is what I think. One more point to that is, and it's largely ignored part, is post offices. If you look at it, every village typically has a post office or a person. The whole village will trust on that postman. Now that post office getting a payment license is going to change the whole, if they play really well, this is going to change the whole scenario very drastically. And I really hope that post office plays that card.
So we'll come back to the post office in a while because that's an interesting debate that we will have. But before that, Adil mentioned something interesting that there has to be a collaborative approach between banks and fintech. So Rishikesh and Sameer, my question is, do you look at it as collaboration or competition? Is a wallet your competitor or is he a collaborator? Is a Paytm your competitor or your collaborator? How do you look at the whole ecosystem? Are you competing with them? Are you collaborating with them?
It's a controversial topic, if I may say so, and what I would like to say on this particular topic is there isn't space to coexist all the ecosystem players which are there, be it wallets and banks. So banks are working on, and there are new products which are getting evolved. So if you talk about, about an UPI, which is a unified payment interface, which we are saying that that's going to change or replace the way we do a transaction through a card or a net banking or a wallet today. So there are technologies which are evolving. There is a coexistence. There is enough big market which wallet players have identified, worked on it, and have created. So I feel there is a coexistence of both the ecosystem players which has to be there. Not that wallets can be operated individually, independently. They certainly require banks, and that is where the banks are playing their own role. And however, there is a particular segment which is being catered to, and which primarily was not being targeted or being looked up by the banks.
Sure, Rishikesh, you think there is collaboration?
Yeah, so there is, so I probably will not be able to answer Paytm specific question because Barclays is not in retail space in India. But if you look at the global scenario for Barclays, right, we are very much keen on open innovation. We have an open innovation platform where we nurture startup so that we can adopt them or work with them. I'll give you one simple example. One of our accelerators in London, cloud-based payment solutions. And by just acquiring them in our Egypt Barclays, okay, we could get the whole government employees onboarded in like a matter of weeks' time. So it's a more the success story of collaboration. Even in Africa space, either we get to a startup. So obviously, as I said, traditionally we are not that pace oriented. So it's much easier to either adopt that technology or work with them, white label the solution. So there are various ways of collaborating with startups, and banks are doing it.
To add to the point, in terms of working closely within startups, as an Axis Bank, we have our own accelerator based in Bangalore in collaboration with NASSCOM 10,000 called Thought Factory, where we invite the fintech solutions from the startups to apply, and then we curate them to buy in-house and to work with them closely to basically give them a direction as to prepare, help them go to market and do one proof of concept within the bank. So there is a collaborative working which we do with fintechs and a lot of startups in various spaces. We don't really look at them as a competition, but there is a collaborative working which we do.
Sure. Now, talking of post offices again, leveraging on existing systems, I know Adil has a strong viewpoint there. He is of the opinion that everything that can happen online should happen online, and I would let him talk more about that. So Adil, should we leverage on existing systems like a post office, or do you think that's redundant?
See, here's what I feel. I feel every organization has a strength and a role, right? So a bank might choose to leverage a post office because it makes sense. But our role as Bank Bazaar is to make sure that on that mobile phone, in the privacy of your home, in a trusted environment, we deliver that mutual fund or that health insurance to you. Today we're able to do it in a few minutes to a certain segment of the population. Tomorrow we want to be able to do it to anyone who is using Facebook or WhatsApp on their phone. So that's our USP. That's how we add value to this country. Now, would someone else have a different approach? I'm sure they would. But this is our view on the future, saying we want to make sure that for our 75 financial institutions, across banks, insurance, mutual fund, without building any technology, we will make sure they deliver, right, in paperless fashion to the customers who are already waiting. So that's our USP in the market.
So tell me, Adil, for example, a product like insurance, health insurance, can it be bought with no intervention at all?
Okay, see, I bought my health insurance in 3 minutes on Bank Bazaar. I was about to board a flight, it asked me 10 questions, I paid, I left. Now, if the product were to be further simplified, so for example, like you said, right, I don't have to give my address. On Bank Bazaar also there's a GPS locator, you click a button. If you happen to be at home, everything pre-fills. You give your Aadhaar number, with your consent, everything about you in the Aadhaar database is pre-filled. Essentially, if I can offer you 2-click checkout, you will buy. So I believe that if we can make it simple enough, people will use it. But to make it simple enough, it is a very, very, very important challenge. And that's the role we believe fintechs like Bank Bazaar play.
Adding on, our group company, which is PolicyBazaar.com, we see 35% of health insurance transactions are unassisted. So without a agent intervention. Usually it is backed by a telesales because you need to explain insurance is a complex product, especially health and life insurance is complex. But in health we are seeing that 35% of the people have made the payment. But still we do call and sort of check whether you've understood all of it. And there is some part which is the health checkup which is still an offline. But everything up to payments, there are 35% of the people who are going through unassisted. And for things like motor insurance, it's 70% of the transactions is unassisted. So there is light there in terms of people buying unassisted. Of course, we are catering to a much different audience at this point of time, which is primarily top 50 cities in the country. But yes, there would be a challenge. But just going back to your post office question, I think there is scope. For example, people can come to a platform like ours using the postmaster as person who can show and tell. I think in that sense, it's just he can do the education in terms of, yeah, you need to put it in here, ये ऐसे लगा दीजिए, ये देख लीजिए, ये आपका premium बनता है या ये आपका EMI बनता है. So there is scope. You can use him to sort of be the guy who is going to take yours to the last mile. And it's just about how some of these partnerships can be worked out.
Interesting. So we think that we can make the post office and the postmaster trained to sell our product and to explain our product. But then don't we contradict our own selves of going technologically to the last mile with nobody required, least operational costs and all of that? So on one side we're saying that we're digitally so enhanced that we don't need anyone in between. There's no middleman. We'll tell the consumer directly, he will come to us and buy it. On the other hand, we're saying that there could be a postman who would be trained, who would explain our products. So it's almost as good as having a branch there.
No, there are online training videos. There are many things which can be done. So I'm not even thinking of what's the issue, but definitely what I'm saying is the last mile is what you define as last mile. So my last mile at this point of time where there is no access in the village to these products is better than one person in the village who is accessing the product. So that's a matter of time, but yes, we're not going there now. We've not thought of how we would do it, but definitely with so many online training agencies, online education videos, that's also something which is completely on the digital platforms.
Sure. So the post office is one existing system. My question to Rishikesh and Sameer is, have banks thought of going to Gram Panchayats and doing this? They could become your voice to the villages because they have access to internet. The Gram Panchayat has an internet hub in every village now. So has any bank gone that far yet?
So the banks in the last, I'd say, last couple of years have increased their rural reach faster than their urban reach, which they have already covered. So if you see, I'm not sure at the Grand Panchayat level, the banks being there, but certainly at a district and below levels, certainly banks are there. And in fact, there is a lot of banking correspondent network channels which are also there in coexistence, which banks leverage to sell their products, which have been reached to the Gram Panchayat level or to a village level.
Okay. And Barclays is anyways not in India. So typically, banks suddenly have started investing more in technology. Technology was never an investment area for banks. That was not something that they looked at. How has that changed the way you look at investing in technology? Has your investment in technology gone more? Has your interest in technology gone more in the bank? And with blockchain implementation, it's changed the scenario. The cost implications are also higher. So what is your viewpoint on that?
So investing in technology has always been there, but again, there were different purposes and different ways the investment was being done in technology. So in current times, adopting a new technology, specifically if we talk about an distributed ledger technology or a blockchain, yes, of course, there is a global interest of banks, including Indian banks, where the banks have testified the models. Now, while investment certainly is there in terms of adopting in technology, but in terms of a long-term, banks certainly look up to the final benefits of adopting this technology, both in terms of the customer experience, the faster delivery of that, and also the cost coming down and bringing on efficiencies of the delivery.
So have you started seeing return on that investment yet?
I think they're in early stages. So as an Axis Bank, we have already done the pilot testing within cross-border remittances, and a couple of other banks have also done that in the recent past. So in terms of adoption and testing of the technology, certainly is being done. But again, I think it's too early to say as to what investment and what results will be. In fact, the RBI released the white paper last week itself, where they have also done and tested on the pilot on the blockchain as a technology. And they have acknowledged that the technology has got some benefits in terms of an adoption within the current infrastructure of the banks.
Within the current infrastructure?
By using the current infrastructure.
That's amazing. Rishikesh, what do you have to say on blockchain implementation? We keep hearing everywhere these days of blockchain implementation, banks adopting it, challenges faced by banks in adoption of blockchain. In fact, it's surprising to hear that current infrastructure can support it. What is your viewpoint?
Yeah, I think before I go to blockchain, right? So this, as you said, there's a focus on technology, and at times even banks just go on bet on every horse. All the technologies I'm going to bet on, okay? And you never know which one will work out. So that's slightly what you call skewed strategy. But I'm sure banks are learning as they go. And the same story with digital also. So blockchain specifically, Barclays has been one of the first banks to try out the end-to-end trade settlement cycle, not trade settlement, the foreign exchange trade complete payment cycle. There have been a partnership in the US to do a complete stock trade settlement cycle. So Barclays has been ahead of it. Obviously, part of the RG1 strips, we are one of the drivers of that. As far as India is concerned, I think ICICI and Axis Bank has tried it. The technology knowledge is definitely there. Infrastructure, I don't see issue. RBI also gave kind of indication that they're okay for it because they were all along very neutral position till last year, and now they have kind of given a slight nod saying, yeah, makes sense, we can try it out. If you talk about use cases, there are humongous. I think there are a lot of use cases we can try on blockchain, something like trade finance, the trade settlement cycle, the insurance, the lending, everywhere. Wherever there is a single point of truth needs to be maintained, we definitely can try the blockchain way. The challenge that I see is going to be a paradigm shift for the banks because it's going to be more collaborative operation than maintaining your own data and substance. That's going to be a slightly challenge, but the way we have adopted all the technologies and everything, right? I'm sure this will also happen.
So we see a mind shift has to happen. More than the technology shift, it's a mind shift within banks that needs to happen for a blockchain implementation kind of thing to take place.
Certainly, since as we know that there is an integrated technology solutions which are available, so the transaction parties on both the sides certainly have to adopt the technology in a similar fashion, and the approach has to be very open in terms of an adoption.
So I just got an indication the time is up, but I'm just going to one last question to all of you before we open to the panel people here. Do you think the regulations that the government is doing enough, or do you think there needs to be much more push to what you're doing? The regulatory changes have to be many more, or do you think we're in the right direction as a country?
I think the pace of regulatory changes has been fantastic. As in over the last 1 year, there have been a lot of things which have opened up. Earlier we used to have X number of banks who've come in through payment banks. They're increasing different kinds of bank addressing different consumer needs. Plus also adoption of eKYC, which is OTP based, where you receive the Aadhaar OTP on your mobile and you're able to open a bank account, or using that for authentication. So all of these changes have happened in the last 1-2 months. And I think for a country like ours, even when 2008 scandal happened, RBI was, as an Indian banks, were one of the ones which were guarded well against what happened globally. So I think in our country like ours, especially, we have to be guarded about how we open the gates. So considering that overhang, I think we are extremely in the right direction.
Adil, do you have something to say about that?
Intent is very positive. I think that's very clear. Every single statement, every single Twitter post, right? Everything says that we're moving to a cashless and a paperless direction. I think there's always scope that there's more that needs to be done. But when intent is clear, I think the rest is bound to come.
Samir?
I agree. In fact, the intent is there, and I think there's been a great support from the government and the regulator on the adoption, especially NPCI with respect to the digital payments particular space. Nothing further to add on to what has been said.
Rishikesh, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I think I agree with it. Intent is there. Government is doing their bit. I was in a conversation with one of the other payment forums, and very senior people from RBI were there. Their statement was the regulators write the regulations, okay? And it's up to you to interpret it and make use of it. I think that's where the innovation comes in, where you read that rule and create an innovative product where it satisfies the regulation and satisfies your customer need.
Sure. Any questions from the audience? I'm sure with an interesting discussion there'll be many questions. There's one gentleman here.
Thank you, Neha. I'm very impressed by your presentation and your moderation, so I must compliment you. And, I have one input and one question. The input is about post offices. I get a little concerned about one fact that we ignore post offices. We just ridicule it. And perhaps if you check up the history of post offices, the British could rule India because they established post offices. And the post offices were the first banking system into the remotest part of the country, which even today the banking system could not establish. So the post office you can't ignore. And post offices tried online, giving the saving certificates and so on through DMAT, and it worked wonders. So perhaps you cannot ignore if you are building up, applications and so on, by ignoring post offices. So please keep it in mind. That is one input. The other question is perhaps that see, the digital has made banks redundant. Pardon my saying so, dear friends. We have become redundant. The banking system has virtually become redundant because the internet and the digital applications have taken up all the functions. And I ran a telecom company, so I know that in a whole lot of countries, the telcos started giving the banking on the mobile phone. And perhaps that is where we should move to. The banking should do much more important things like building up infrastructure, lending and so on. Even there the question mark is that looking at the NPAs, whether they were doing the right job, because the kind of hundreds of thousands of, billions of dollars being in NPA. So the question is how quickly we can do it and why are we not doing it? Because that's where the interaction can be very meaningful. And the question which is always put in is, or the constraint that Indian people are not technology savvy. I can share with you, I have learned more internet from my caddy than by running a telecom company. So some of the people who are at the cutting edge know technology much more than us. I would like to have a reaction. How long will it take to be getting into digital rather than going to a bank and a counter and so on? Thank you.
So that's for Rishikesh and Samir, but that question is valid, and there is an interesting point that I would like to bring. We had one of the foreign banks who came to us and said, we want to do a study that in the next 5 years, will the physical spaces of bank be banks or will they be coffee shops? Because nobody would want to go to a bank in 5 years from now.
Libraries are disappearing.
Yeah. So how soon is that going to be? How soon is the bank going to be a coffee shop?
Yeah, I think I know I carry a risk of counted as a primitive person, but Kunal in earlier session mentioned go digital, but know when to stop digital. I think that's very important because just because technology is available, don't overuse it where you lose a touch of a customer. And that's what my personal belief is. So if you ask me, there's going to be efficiency, there's going to be a lot of digital happening for customer. As far as India is concerned, for all urban customers, everything is available. They really don't need to go to bank. And for rural, I would say next 2 years or so, the way Modi government is pushing things, I'm sure in the next 2 years or so we will reach that. It's not going to completely remove the banking presence.
Sameer, do you want to add to that? Do you think Axis Bank will be Axis Bank 5 years from now?
No, of course. And in fact, apart from growing into the rural areas and catering to the people who do not have a formal banking system in their access, there are a lot of other spaces where the new banks are participating with respect to catering to the market. So be it catering to a lot of e-commerce players, and in terms of the marketplaces, there are not new product solutions which are coming, which banks need to facilitate, such as the nodal accounts or an online OPGSP account. So there is a whole lot of new space which is also getting created for the banks to cater to, which certainly could be done digitally. But at the same point in time, as you also mentioned, that as an Indian consumer, they would want to have the best of both worlds. They certainly would want to go digital for the convenience, but they also would want to have a touch and feel of the products and the services if they need to. So I think that entire process may take some more time before you see the bank branches turning into any other thing.
I want to add a point here, Neha. So one data point that we're seeing is, for example, on mutual funds, right? It's a paperless mutual fund, 5 minutes flat in and out, no paperwork, absolutely no paperwork. 80% of our buyers, our first-time buyers, never bought mutual fund before, 80%. Now all this is going to the existing mutual fund providers. They previously couldn't reach these people, but because it's paperless on a mobile phone, they are. So I'd say that while technology comes to play, at the end of the day, the suppliers, right, still need to build innovative products. And that's where the big opportunity, we believe, exists in the future.
Just adding on, so the difference between a US-UK market and an Indian market, when fintech started revolutionizing those markets, is that the penetration of products were already very high. The products are not to be only measured by Jan-Dhan accounts, because that's a starting step towards being in the formal financial ecosystem. But whether you look at access to loans, access to SME or MSME loans, access to mutual funds, all of them are single-digit numbers in our country. So here, fintechs and banks have a huge, the 90% of the market which is underpenetrated, to go out and get there. So it's not this and that, but it's to both together, because like Azul said, we are banking, even as aggregators, we are banking on the products provided by the banks to go and give it out to the market. Yes, in terms of how we can innovate on the products so that you can access most of the markets, that's the key. I'm reading between the lines.
Sure. More questions from the audience? No more questions? So, one concluding question for all of you. Where do you all see your future? Where do you see the future? And then if there was one tip you wanted to give to another startup, what is it?
A tip to a startup, I think, let me answer the first question, where do I see the future? And I think people might get bored of what I'm going to say, but there's just one word, and that word is paperless. That's what the future is. And we're just going to make it so easy for anyone in tier 2, tier 1. As long as you have a mobile phone, right, we'll make it possible for you to access that financial product, and it will be at a cost point, right, which makes sense to the bank.
Radhika, where do you see the future?
I have to think of another word now. Okay, yeah, primarily my first word which comes to my mind is paperless and sitting at home. So that's what I see as. But I think what I would need to do more to sort of get this going for what we're trying to do is to say think consumer. So everything that he needs access to with respect to financial services, we need to be able to offer to him. I think that's what we can work towards.
Sure. Rishikesh?
Yeah, I think future, so the technology is going to keep coming, but the future lies in the user-centric user experience rather than just delivering technology. It's going to be more on the creating the right experience for a particular user.
No, I feel one has to be in future ready with respect to the adoption of technology. So what if you're talking about blockchain technology or any other technology? So getting ready to it, to reskill yourself and taking the technology head on rather than maybe being in slow mode in terms of waiting and watching. I think that is what is really not required, and one has to adopt the technology at a super fast speed.
Great, so we all heading in the right direction, paperless, faster transactions, going mobile, adopting technology. So, and everything will coexist. There will be physical banks, there will be dealers, there will be online, and we will be able to reach the last leg of the population of the country that we are. We have one person here who wants, can we take one more question? So we should take that in the coffee break. Whoever that question is for, you can meet them for me, then I can talk to you later. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for joining us, and thanks for the patience that you all showed. Thanks.